Hi, thanks for joining me again for another Craft Your Scraps. So I worked on two very small journaling books, and I also worked on a bunch, I didn't even count them, but I did a bunch of journaling tucks. Now these could also be used as bookmarkers, but my true intention was for them to be used as journaling tucks. At any rate, when I created the journaling tucks, I used decoupage on the front, and I put a journaling space on the back, and most of them then I used my hole punch and then thread them with some pretty ribbon. I will show you how they turned out. Before I show you my end results, I wanted to mention that I had joined Sherry with Turquoise Dreaming, and she had posed a challenge for us to use up our scraps while we're crafting.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I am on my back porch again, so if you hear wind and birds and whatever, that's why. And I'll give you a quick weather report. It is actually Thursday today. It's hard to keep track nowadays. Thursday, April 16th. We won't be seeing this until Sunday. But today we're having a very unusual day in Florida. It's literally 64 degrees. That's pretty unheard of in Florida. So I'm enjoying it though, because we don't get much cool weather, so I'm loving it. And we'll be back up to 84 tomorrow. So I have my doors open and my windows open, and just, taking it in. So anyway, this is our Craft Your Scraps. I try to post Craft Your Scraps every Sunday until I use up most of my crafts. And I'm very proud because last night I worked really hard and used up so many scraps. Actually, I used up all my small scraps. Everything else are really large pieces. So I wanted to show you what I got done, and I hope you enjoy seeing it. The first thing I did was make two small books, little journaling books, and I made them out of my coffee dyed papers. That was the first time I had ever made coffee dyed paper, was like last week, and I had so much fun. So I used scraps inside of these little books, and these are different from the ones from last weekend. I did have another one where I made some books, and so I'll do a flip through on these in a little bit. And then I also had fun with decoupage and decoupaged a ton of journaling tucks. And so they each have a picture on the front, and they have a place to journal on the back. So I want to show you those as well. Here's the first little book that I made. You can see it's pretty small, and I made it out of book pages, and I used some scrapbook paper to cover this part to protect the binding. This was from a magazine, piece of scrap paper I put on the page for journaling. All of that was scraps. I used some washi tape. This was from a brochure, and it was going to end up in the recycling bin, so I decided to use that. Here's a little flip journal spot. Another one. It's a nice big one. All this is scraps. There's the backs. This is my coffee dyed paper that I used. And so anyway, there's my first one. I thought that came out pretty cute. And then here's the second one that I made. And I love this because I did all of the edges with these scissors that have, they have that, I don't even know what you call that pattern, but anyway. So this little one says "Talk to Me," and similar, use scraps to protect the binding, use my coffee dyed papers, and then all of the stuff that you see in here is scraps, except this wasn't, this was new. And I used some bronze paint to just go around the corners because I don't have like stampy ink. So scrap here, drew some lines for journaling. This was some of my Easter egg dye paper. Again, lines for journaling, Easter egg die paper here. So I drew some lines with my gold marker and used scraps here. And then this was from a book that had photos in it that I had disassembled a long time ago. So I had that, and of course all of that is scraps. We have a nice big place for journaling here. More scraps and coffee dye. I put one pocket in this book, and I put some little tucks inside. And actually all of these little tucks were scraps too. Easter egg dyed paper. All scraps. And this is Aristotle Onassis. That's a picture from a book that I disassembled. And so there's the second one, and I just love the texture on the edge here. The next thing I want to share with you is the ephemera that I created. Each piece has a space to journal on the back of it, and all of them were created using decoupage. So this was a sticker over top of some material, but it was all decoupaged together. If my friend Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming is watching, she'll notice that I've used a bunch of the ribbon that she sent me. So thank you, Sherry, for all that wonderful ribbon. This is a sticker of the Eiffel Tower, and I decoupaged it on top of some of my coffee dyed paper. And of course, a space for journaling on the back, and I used some of my Easter egg dyed paper for the back. I had a lot of fun making these. A lot of this was from stickers, scrapbook stickers I had from when my daughter was younger. She's 18 now, she's not a kid anymore. But I created a bunch of these. All of them have the journaling space on the back. And again, I used ribbon from Sherry at Turquoise Dreaming. It was so nice that she sent me Happy Mail with beautiful ribbon in it. So this one, this girl has a face mask on, and you know, it's like a sleepover sticker. And then this one is pretty cute. It says Smarty Pants, journaling on the back, Easter egg dyed. It's another fun one. Kind of looks summery, you know, colorful, summer. So this one was, this is a ribbon, a piece of ribbon, and this was literally a piece of scrap from a wreath that I made a while back for my sister. And so I figured, well, hey, I might as well use whatever I have that's a scrap. So we got this one. This is like a chipboard, so I decoupaged that on there in my Easter egg dyed paper. So now back to some of the darker stuff that I made. Got some eyelash lace here from Sherry, and I made these. Again, they have paper on the back. I have some large ones similar to those. This has a little bit of a steampunk look on it. You can see the gears here. And then I just used a scrap from a paper. Space for journaling. And then there's some smaller size of the fun ones that are super colorful. Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize I punched a hole in this 2 times. I punched a hole here and I punched a hole here. Well, maybe for fun I'll put ribbon in both. I think I'll set that aside so I remember to do that. So here's one. It's cute. Little, I don't know if you can see the sticker on there, but that's like for sleepover. This one, she's eating popcorn. This one I'm not quite done with. I feel like I'd like to add something right here in the center. If I could find a nice big flower, I'll do that. So I'll set that aside too, so that I make sure I follow up on that. And then I had these stickers from so long ago, so I figured I would put them on here, and I decoupaged over them so they're not going to go anywhere. Again, journaling space on the back. And then here's a nice pretty one. This was like, came in a mermaid paper pack, but it was a scrap because I had done a project using it. And then my Easter egg dyed paper on the back. And then I had stickers, I had this sticker travel pack that I'd had forever, so I used that on top of some of that mermaid pack paper. With some, and then on the back is a journaling space with lines on it. little turtles. This actually was from a brochure that was going to end up in my recycling bin, and I thought, well, that's beautiful pictures of the turtles, so I decided to use that along with some tea-dyed paper on the back. Another travel sticker on top of some of that mermaid paper. And just so you know, though I decoupaged the front of all of these, I did not decoupage over top of the paper that somebody would want to write on. So, you know, don't do that. This is just kind of a fun, almost industrial looking one. My tea-dyed paper there. Here we have, this one is a little variety thing going on here. So, hold on, okay. So we have a turtle, and it was from the same brochure as this, but I had a scrap of sparkly blue, again from that same wreath, so I figured I would use that. And actually under this right here was a scrap of like a silver material that I had. So I put all that together and made a small one. And then here's just a good old-fashioned looking one with a white paper on the back. And I didn't put a ribbon in this one. I thought I would leave it plain. Kind of nice to have some variety. So this is what I got done, and I'm super excited about it. I worked really hard at it, but I had so much fun doing it and being creative and just saying, hey, I'm going to use my scraps, and you know, it's all going to be what it's going to be, but I'm really happy with it. Thanks for watching. See you soon.